Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from KAA1. We will present about Islamic ethical leadership concept and practices for Muslim youth. Leadership in Islam, like traditional traditions, serve as a bridge for leaders to influence their members' attitudes and behaviors in order to achieve corporate goals. In Islam, leadership is based on trust. It frequently takes the form of an explicit contract or vow between a leader and his followers that he will do everything in his power to guide, protect, and treat them fairly and justly. Besides, leadership is centered on integrity and justice, given the literature on leadership's recent emphasis on ethical behavior. To begin, Muslims base their leadership on follower behaviors on Allah's message as revealed in the Quran. They believe that Muhammad SAW, the Prophet of Islam, is set the example for Muslim leaders and followers throughout history. Muslims, Islam is not only a creed but also a world system of life, combining the principles of beliefs, practices, and secular and religious world into an indivisible whole. Allah provides the system of existence that defines the Muslim way of existence. It is the identity that Muslims all around the world must uphold and practice in accordance with the Quran. In addition, they must be taught and trained in many methods and institutions to follow the Prophet Muhammad SAW as a role model. Islamic ethics is concerned with the standards that dictate what Muslims should do. It also discusses the individuals and society's virtues, duties, and attitudes. There are numerous factors that have a significant impact on Muslim youth Islamic ethical behavior. The causes of Islamic variables, such as Islamic upbringing, knowledge of the religion, involvement in Islamic activities, and implementing Islamic principles, are nonetheless substantially connected with Islamic ethical behavior among Muslim youth. Islamic ethical behavior among Muslim youth, Islamic upbringing, Islamic studies, religious practice, and involvement in religious activities is the most important Islamic components. Muslim youth who engage in religious activities regularly and seriously, who live in households that raise their children in an Islamic manner, and who have studied Islam in depth, are more likely to engage in high ethical Islamic behavior.
Okay, so now I will present about research problem, which is the issues investigate. Ethical issues occur when a given decision, scenario, or activity creates a conflict with a society's moral principles. Employees are sometimes so focused on getting ahead and gaining money that they overlook procedures and policy. The lack of Islamic ethics leadership is a widespread behavioral problem in Muslim countries, and it is well understood by all parties involved, including Muslim youth, parents, religious leaders, and local leaders. It is the problem that affects the way and quality life of Muslim youth, causing them to wander from the straight path, weaken their faith, misbehave, and commit sins as a habit without shame, and even openly commit sins. There are numerous factors that have a significant impact on Muslim youth. Islamic upbringing, knowledge of the religion, involvement in Islamic activities, and implementing Islamic principles are all connected with Islamic ethical behavior among Muslim youth. Muslims who engage in religious activities regularly and simply are more likely to engage in highly ethical Islamic behavior. The concept of trust is part of the larger Islamic ethic that governs social connections. According to Islamic perspective, trust is explicitly linked to leadership in the Quran. In organization, trust is a critical problem that affects performance and, if destroyed, can have disastrous consequences. Also, the concept of trust can be applied to other aspects of a leader's or follower's job. Next, culture in organization, also one of the ethical issues. The culture is one of the primary challenges for a leader, and the success in leading a company depends on how the cultural characteristics are controlled. Culture and leadership in the workplace are two sides of the same coin. In order to achieve effective leadership, it is vital to be an active leader who listens carefully to the opinions and needs of the followers. Moral ideals and fairness in decision-making should be the focus of ethical issues. Ethical leaders strive to incorporate moral principles into their behavior, values, and beliefs. Clear communication is necessary in order to develop a framework for ensuring employees' work and how it contributes to the organization's success. So, how to solve these ethical issues? When confronted with an ethical issue, it is crucial to realize that there is really just one right way to respond. To begin, acquire as many information as possible. Next, determine who is involved. Then, we must determine the ethical concerns at hand and then come up with a list of viable remedies. Leaders who act ethically must build an ethically friendly work atmosphere for all employees, convey ethical concerns, act as role models, and cultivate responsible people. So that's all from me. Thank you.
We'll talk about related theories to Islamic ethical leadership concepts and practices for Muslim youth. Firstly is theory of role. The meaning of role is doing the task that has been given with responsibility and performing the task as expected by the organization. When a person holds a certain position in an organization, he is expected to perform his role according to his status. Next, the theory of youth supervision and management. This theory is based on Islamic principles of responsibility by leaders to perform their role as expected by society. This theory existed because some of Muslim leaders lack coordination and guidelines to youth management. Many Muslim leaders supervise youth based on their beliefs, role, experiences, and interaction with teenagers. Another theory that we can use for Islamic ethical leadership is servant leadership theory because this theory is based on Islamic leadership principles. From Islamic perspective, the leader as a servant have been part in Islam since its beginning. In addition, servant leadership theory leans toward ethics, values, principles, morality, and spirituality. This theory makes the leaders go beyond the leaders' own self-interest and focus on opportunities to help followers grow bigger. Ethical leadership uses many ways to influence followers or their workers using social learning theory. They use communication, rewards, and punishment to influence ethics-related behavior among followers. In addition, using this theory, it will make employees less engaged in socially disruptive behavior. Through that, employee moral awareness will increase, then it will make the implementation of ethical going well in the organization.
Okay, next I will continue present about ethics, trust, and youth. Okay, nowadays youth have more freedom, develop faster, and live in a rapidly changing environment, particularly in terms of social change. Thus, the youth style of life is similar to a ship without steering. They are easily guided by fashion trends and influenced by their peers. They finally become youth with Islamic ethical issues. As a result, community groups should play key roles in resolving conflicts and promoting Islamic ethics among Muslim youth by instilling in them the need to constantly remembering Allah and His teachings. Trust is an important concept in Islamic leadership. It is a psychological contract between the leader and his followers in which the former will do all in his power to educate, protect, and treat the latter fairly. A leader's effectiveness is highly dependent on trust. A leader cannot be effective unless he or she has earned the trust of his or her people. Okay, it is important to develop Islamic ethics among Muslim youth in order for them to adopt Islamic ethical concepts as guiding principles in their daily life. As a result, connected individuals and organizations must inculcate Islamic ideals in Muslim communities. Islamic ethical values can act as a protective barrier, reducing difficulties that may cause trouble and harm to Muslim youth. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
As a conclusion, a Muslim leader is required to conduct righteously, seeks for self-improvement, and never break his word, as he is firmly rooted in his faith in God and cognizant of his responsibility as a trustee. The Islamic upbringing, religious knowledge, and participation in Islamic activities all play a role in explaining the difference in Islamic ethical behavior. In order to practice Islamic ethical leadership to Muslim youth, First, the community leaders must cultivate youth potential and educate Muslim youth on the knowledge of following the Prophet Muhammad's example. Second, community leaders must plan activities that include the process of mental socialization and instilling social norms in youth, with a focus on incorporating moral and ethical principles into the activities so that youth learn and accept values as well as rules and regulation in order to live in the society. Next, community leaders should promote and encourage youth in collectively setting a clear and definite goal, concentrating on youth working as a team towards the same goal as a way for teaching Islamic ideals among young. The solution to ethical and unethical difficulties comes inside companies and individuals, but leaders play a unique role in acting as a role models and creating ethical culture within organization by displaying to followers the organizational behavioral boundaries. Being ethical entails acting in a fair and compassionate manner, considering the welfare of others rather than simply one's own, and weighing the effects of one's action on others and society as a whole. That's all from us. Thank you.